Hello and welcome to this session that will primarily be done lying down or seated, and where we'll focus a little bit more about stretching around the hips and the glutes. And this is a very handy practice if you are or have suffered from sciatica. Possibly if you're in an acute time with your sciatica, then see how far you can go. Some of the postures you might want to leave out, but if you feel comfortable to go ahead and do some of those, they will certainly stretch and strengthen the area. We'll start lying on our fronts and take a few breaths. I would also recommend to have a brick that is a definite, or a big book that you have bound so that you can carry it at some point between your legs, so a hard back. Let's start on our fronts and getting just a few breaths here. So you may want to have the hands on top of one another, forehead to the hands or to the floor, and relax the glutes. I may keep my head lifted simply so that you can hear me better, but you should have the head on the hands and the back of the neck long. Start by taking 4 or 5 breaths here. Noticing how you are feeling in your body. Noticing how your breath fills the body. Let's take another breath here. Then simply lift the head. I'm going to bend the knees, have the feet flat up towards the ceiling, and try to push your pubic bone down. If this is a little too strong here, you may double up on the mat so that you are supported underneath your pelvis, or have a blanket. And then let's take some ankle rolls, simply just to notice how the legs feel, and then in the other direction. And then we can replace the legs, tucking the toes to lift the knees and lengthening, so pressing the pubic bone down so we get a little bit more length here. Simply taking the hands to the side of the chest. We're going to inhale, keep the neck long. As we exhale, gaze over towards the left. Inhale back to the center, exhale over towards the right. Try to keep the belly button in towards the spine, twice more to either side. So you left, inhale to the center, right. And so as you press the pubic bone, you might release, or at least keep some softness into the glutes here. Come back through towards the center. Keep the hands where they are. Tuck the toes. Bring yourself back into a tabletop. So you bring the knees back to be underneath the hips, and maybe the hands a little closer under the shoulders. Keep that belly button and the navel in towards the spine. And then we'll take some circles with the hips. So the upper back only moves because I am moving the hips around, but it's not a cat-cow yet. So we're taking a few circles and then in the other direction. Release the forearms to the ground, and you might even hold onto the sides of the mat and then start to push. Press the shins down, but push yourself back. Getting some stretch into the back and also maybe the glutes a little bit. You could simply keep the hands flat to the floor. Then bring yourself back and again down to the floor. This time we'll pretend we're going for a swim. So here we're going to inhale, lift the left arm and then release it as we exhale. Inhale, lift the right arm and release it as we exhale. And again, once more. And once more on the right. This time, as we take the left arm, let's see whether we can lift the right leg too. And again, other arm or the leg. Let's do this another 2 times. Monitor how this feels in the body. You could simply also just do the legs here instead of the arms as well as the legs. Take a rest, so hands underneath you, wiggle your hips about. Then let's take the hands so that they're in line with the chest, so the fingers will be more or less in line with the nipples here. Again, you press your pubic bone down and you take that belly in towards the spine as if you were trying to just slide something underneath your belly. And then you'll use the strength of your back and your breath to inhale and lift and exhale and release. So there's very, very little weight onto the hands. The hands are merely resting here. So let's do this again. Engage the pubic bone, exhale, release. Monitor how this feels in the body when you exhale. You really totally relax the buttocks. Once more. And release. This time, if you wish, you can lift the legs as well with it. So perhaps the toes and the heels will go together. Maybe they'll separate still at some point. That's fine too. So we inhale. See whether we can lift the arms as well. And we exhale, we release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck the toes and bring yourself back, this time into a child's posture. So you press onto the hand, you bring yourself back, and then bring the knees in and then stretch the hands. So you may also have the knees quite separated if you wanted to release the belly and the chest in between the thighs. On your next exhale, you're going to bring yourself up, slide the legs out to the side and come down onto your back. So slide forward, and this is where you will definitely need your brick. Because here what you'll do is you'll keep the toes together, or the big toe mound and the inner heel, and then you'll allow the legs to come out to the side so that you have your brick here. And perhaps I'll move this way so that you can truly see what happens here. I won't be able to see it, so hopefully you can. There we go, so you're on your back. The idea here is that you will strengthen the thighs around the brick, and you'll do this in increments. So we'll do it 3 times. So as we inhale, we're going to squeeze the brick a little bit, and as we exhale, we keep the amount of tension but we let the breath go. And again, we inhale, we squeeze a little bit more. We exhale, we release the breath, not the tension. Once more. We release the breath, not the tension. Keep that here. And then take the brick away. Release this to the side. Step the feet out to the side so the knees knock in towards one another. And take a couple of breaths here. The idea here is that you are using the inside of your legs in order to counteract that tension that you might find in the glutes, the buttocks, the hips, the sciatic nerve. Let's do this once more. So I'll come to the side here. You've got the idea, hopefully you've seen it there. So again, toes and heels together, accommodate the brick. And then soft into the body, you're going to press the brick as you inhale, and as you exhale, you stay with the pressure but you release the breath. Inhale, squeeze a little bit more. Exhale, release the breath only. Inhale, squeeze, so you might start to feel that this is truly working in the thighs. You exhale, you release the breath, not the tension. And then you release the brick, walk the feet out to allow the knees to knock in and allow the inner thighs to recover for a couple of breaths here. So we'll do this once more. Feet together, brick between the thighs. You know where you're going now, so use your breath, use your time. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, hold the posture, not the breath. Inhale. Exhale, soften the face. Inhale. Exhale, stay with the posture. And then take the brick away. Knees together, feet to the side. Then knees come back in line with the hips and the feet underneath the knees. You're going to hug the knees in towards the chest. Take the knees from side to side. And then here we'll have the feet to about hip width apart. Take the arms to shoulder height. And we're going to take the windshield wipe. So this is where either your feet are hip width apart or a little bit wider, and you'll know your body, your sides will let you know if that's available for you. Inhale, and then as you exhale, take the knees over to the right and the gaze over to the left. Inhale back through to the center, knees over to the left and the gaze over to the right. Inhale back through to the center, knees to the right, gaze to the left. Inhale back through towards the center, knees to the left, gaze to the right. Let's do this once more. Then come back through towards the center. This time you're going to take the right shin across the left thigh with your foot hanging there, even your foot flexed, and still keeping the left leg to hip in line with the hip or a little bit wider. This time we're going to do the same, but essentially the right knee will touch the floor. So there's a little bit more pressure, or rather pull and push from the legs. Inhale back through towards the center, over to the other side. So you can go a little bit faster here. Inhale, exhale. making sure that your breath is following, or rather the movement follows the breath. Again, one last time in this direction. Come back through towards the center, release the foot. Take a couple of breaths with your feet hip width apart. Left leg comes over the right thigh. Inhale, and as you exhale, knee to the left, gaze to the right. Your knee might not even touch the floor. My right one does, but my left one doesn't there. That's my tighter hips, that would be why. Than in the other direction, and I can feel more of a stretch on this side than I do on the other. Again, a couple of times. Come back through towards the center. Release the leg down. Again, take the knees in towards the chest. Give your lower back a little bit of release. This time you have the option of, as you take the right shin across the left thigh, to continue with what we've just done previously, if that is plenty enough for you. Or to bring that left leg in and then take the hands behind. This is where I forgot to tell you needed a belt, so I will in the little text under the video. So from here, you are pushing the knee out to the side, the right knee, and just noticing how it feels. Bend the left knee, release the foot to the floor, release the right foot in line with the hip. Take a breath. Monitor how you feel. Let's go over to the other side. So it may well be where you carry on with that side to side, or you can then take the hands behind the leg and then lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep either gently, mentally pushing the knee away, or leaving it as it is. And the option also could be to release that foot down, because there will be a little less pressure. The right foot hanging down to the floor instead of up towards the air, towards the sky. So let's take one more breath here. And let's release. Release both feet flat to the floor. Take a breath. Roll over onto your side. And then we'll set ourselves up onto our hands and knees here, onto our tabletop. So on our tabletop here, in order to stretch a little bit more into the buttock area, we're going to take the right knee, lift it up and take it towards the left elbow, so we stretch the lower back. Then you're going to release the leg straight out and move the foot out as if you were pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. So let's do this a handful of times. Getting a nice stretch into the buttock. One last time. So you turn the knee in, then you straighten the leg, and at the last minute you turn the thigh out and then back down towards the center. Let's practice this on the other side. The left leg now comes towards the right elbow, then straightens, and then you turn so the knee and the toes are pointing to the side. In and out. In and out. Note you could do this onto your wrists if actually that helps you, give you a little bit more support, but also that may allow you to take the knee closer towards the forearm. Good. So here, let's stretch back onto our buttocks and forward. Into Balasana, the child's posture. Feel free to have the hands behind you for a rest. Slowly and curling yourself back up. Slide the buttocks out to the side. And for this one, we're going to come into a variation of our cow face legs. I'll show the first one in front of the camera and then the other side on the side. This is also where you might need your brick to lift the hips up a little bit. So you'll take the left knee in towards the chest and then take it over here. It may well be that you can now bend the bottom knee. Actually, we'll let it straight so that we can stretch both sides. Take the hands to either side, lift the chest, inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring yourself forward and down. Only go as far as you feel is comfortable. And if you were not able to come forward at all, or if you felt that you're pinching into the hips, this is where you use the brick. I'll show you on the other side. Inhale, come back up. Release the left leg. From this, if you're pinching a little bit or if you feel uncomfortable, this is where you sit here so that your hips will tilt and you can come forward a little bit. Depending on what it is you've got underneath your buttocks, it might aggravate the way you feel, so in this case use a blanket, something a little bit softer. You're going to take the right leg over, and again you're going to try to take the knee on top of the other. If this is not accessible, you're more than welcome to come back onto your back and do that figure of four that we did the last one, or again to sway the legs from side to side. Inhale, lift, and as you exhale, you come forward. It is a bit more of an intense stretch into the back of the leg as well, but primarily here we'd like to sense this into the hips. So stop and breathe. Inhale, come back up with the torso. Exhale, release the legs forward. Take the legs out to the side. I'm going to come to sit in Virasana, where this is between my legs and I'm sitting on it. Not accessible for you to sit back like this for your knees. Simply extend the legs, maybe just straight down onto the floor or on your blanket or your doubled up mat. Let's close our eyes and take a few breaths. Let's say about 5 breaths here to conclude our practice. On the last 3 breaths, inhale in as you exhale through the mouth. And then open your eyes. Notice how you are feeling. And go about your day or add another class to this one. Namaste.